Across this great nation, there is a culture of people who carry on a heritage. They have an intangible quality that can't be described, but it comes from deep within their hearts. They share an appreciation for the greatest things that come from Mother Earth. They watch over, understand, and care for the vast wilds of this great country. Fishing, hunting, and trapping are the foundations that Canada was built on. For over 2 centuries, we have taken to the woods and water to pursue wild game. Today, it's about conservation, preservation, and wildlife management. Whether you are a man or woman, fish or hunt, you should support sound wildlife management and proudly say, I am an angler and hunter. The Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters proudly presents Angler and Hunter Television. Brought to you by Canadian Tire, a proud partner of Angler and Hunter Television. Mercury Marine and Lund Boats. Yamaha ATVs. Browning Firearms. Rapala. Winchester Ammunition. Wild Game Innovations. Excalibur Crossbows. And Yukon Gear.
As a long-established hunting tradition, the spring bear hunt provided personal, social, cultural, economic, and biological benefits. The spring hunt successfully reduced bear densities, particularly in male bears, and it assisted in the control of the size of the bear population. This reduced cannibalism by male bears on other bears, predation on other species, such as deer fawns and moose calves. And finally, it reduced human-bear conflicts. Now this week we're in Thunder Bay, Ontario, the largest city in northwestern Ontario and home to over 100,000 people. Thunder Bay is a unique place as it's shouldered by the mighty Lake Superior and the vast wilds of northwestern Ontario. Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters President Glenn Rivard and his family reside here in Thunder Bay and have enjoyed the many hunting and fishing opportunities it has to offer. One opportunity, however, that has been absent since 1999 is the ability to hunt black bear during the spring season. 2014, however, was a milestone year. The Ontario government, through support from the OFAH, reinstated a spring season in selected wildlife management units, where high rates of human-bear conflict and nuisance calls were reported.
A spring bear hunt has many benefits. Many of the benefits are the same that any sort of hunting season has. There are wildlife management benefits, so it helps to maintain population objectives, to maintain the bear population where the MNRF wants it. The license sales, or the money from the sale of black bear licenses, goes back into wildlife management initiatives. Specifically a spring bear hunt, the timing of the spring bear hunt is such that it helps reduce the density of bears immediately prior to the peak conflict period, which is in the summer and fall months. But ultimately, the most important thing about the spring bear hunt is that it keeps bears wild. It instills that sense of fear of human beings into them. It's all well and good to have a spring bear hunt season on the books, but it's really important for hunters to get out there and participate in the spring hunt. It's great to have the spring bear hunt back, but if we don't have enough hunters out there harvesting bears, it almost certainly will not have any impact on nuisance bears.
With over 130 years of knife-making excellence, Camillus should be on your next hunt.
Adolph Castor began the Camillus Knife Company in 1876, and he utilized expert engineering to ensure the highest precision in his knives. They prove themselves in the harshest conditions because Camillus uses a patented titanium bonding and carbonitride coating process, making them up to 10 times harder than untreated steel. Camillus knives stay sharper, longer.
Mercury engine test.
Toughness you can rely on. It's good to have Mercury behind you.
This is the moment. Get locked. Make it lethal. as a new generation of Winchester finds its mark, you make history, and another one makes the mantle. Longbeard XR, locked and lethal.
The new Minn Kota Fortrex. Its ruthless mono-arm design features an extruded aluminum backbone with uncompromising strength. A counter-tension stabilizer with no play and no give for silent operation. And lift assist for easy stow and deploy. But it doesn't just sound tough, it walks the walk by out-muscling anything in its path to help you catch more fish. Fortrex, the strong silent type with a built-in mean streak.
In fishing, nothing beats the confidence and enjoyment that comes with using the best equipment. There's a reason why generations of professional anglers, guides, and camp operators make Lund their boat of choice. They stand up to the elements and the repeated use that hardcore anglers put them through, season after season. They're guide-tested, wilderness-proven. Isn't it time for you to experience the Lund difference?
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television brought to you by Minn Kota and Humminbird.
Bears are very cautious animals, but when presented with an opportunity to access food, they can become quite bold and lose their fear of humans. Bears will break down doors, damage buildings, and even make a mess of parked vehicles. Glenn and Debbie Rivard have a parcel of land on the outskirts of Thunder Bay, and to say that it's overrun with bears would be an understatement. Yeah, there's some bear. 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. A little bit of claw. So you can see the mud on the screen. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 claw marks right here, right through the screen. This one here, he did a real number on. Busted it here. You can see the paw print there. Paw print here. That's why we're getting mosquitoes in the cabin. On Glenn's property, there are 3 baits set up in different locations, all about 1 kilometer or so apart.
Good stuff.
These are healthy bears. Each station had plenty of bear action, and our trail cameras were giving us some great shots of who was visiting. Harvesting my first spring bear looked like it was going to be a sure thing. We sat here at this spot from 5:30 this morning till about 9, nothing. And we came in now, it's about 6, and the bait looks like it's just been hit. There's still lots in there. I can't see from here, but you guys can see it from there. So we might have a long sit in front of us, maybe 4 hours before a bear comes out. Now, sitting over a bait might seem pretty simple, and some might even say unfair, but I assure you that it's anything but. In fact, black bears are ultra cautious, and several things have to be perfect and happen in the right conditions in order to get a clean shot. Sows with cubs are often seen at baits and can be identified right away. In fact, cubs tend to be careless and quite often trounce in without a worry. The sow, on the other hand, will keep a close eye on the surroundings and make sure all is well. It's estimated that 25,000 bear cubs are born every year in Ontario, of which at least 10,000 will die before they reach the age of 1, and it has nothing to do with hunting. Biologists' reports show that the actual estimate of cubs accidentally orphaned by hunters is less than 27 bears per year. In fact, motor vehicle collisions with wild animals is probably the largest single source of orphaning any wildlife in Ontario. At the first sign of an incoming boar or any other threat, she'll run the cub up a tree or head for cover. That train you're hearing is an hour away from here. smash one tonight. This 405 is gonna get its first black bear. Boars can spend upwards of 45 minutes casing the area, checking wind and making sure there's no threats before they come into a bait. What this all means is being concealed, quiet, and making sure that you're wearing plenty of cover scent is an integral part of having a bear come into range. Which, like I said, is never a sure thing.
Oh, there he is. Hey, you! Yeah. Fat boy, you can't get none of this. Look at me. I got moves. I go land, I go right, I go left again. Watch it. Oh, there it is. Psych! I'm so erratic, I don't even know where I'm going. Come on, Chubby Cheeks. Come on, Bucket Mouth. Come get some of this. I can do this all day long. Look at me. Watch this. Come on. Your mama's so fat that she can't get out the fish net. Ow! I'll give you that one.
The makers of America's #1 buck lure bring you Hot Shot, a monumental advance in scent dispersal technology. Hot Shot's exclusive bag and can technology separates the lure from the propellant, resulting in a 100% pure lure mist. No noisy spitting and powerful, consistent spray create a highly effective and deadly long-range attraction. When your season comes down to one opportunity, trust Tinks. Tinks Hot Shot, pure lure, pure attraction.
There's one.
Well, that's a big one.
So how many have you caught now on your Trigger X, Derek?
I don't know. I'm not keeping score.
Oh, really?
Trigger X. Bass eat even when they're not hungry.
There's a huge low-pressure system centered over the state, going to continue to whip our area with rain, sleet, high winds. There are already multiple weather-related accidents on the freeway. You'd have to be a hardcore duck hunter to go out in this weather. Take it easy this morning, heading downtown.
The Browning A5. Come hell or high water.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television brought to you by Ameristep.
I'm going to basically show you now what you need to do to set up your own bear bait. First off, you need an dirty old drum, and then we're going to go to the truck here, bag of the cheapest dog food you can find, some magic raspberry juice crystals. They smell delicious. I'm not going to open that up quite yet. But then, the good stuff. Blackstrap molasses, a couple buckets of fudge, and a few other little tricks I got in my backpack here I'll show you down in the woods. And we'll go set up a bear bait and see if we can get any action. Once you've found your spot, make sure your barrel's in a good spot. Make sure you chain it to a tree because bears like to roll the barrel around and you'll find your barrel off into the rhubarb somewhere. So chain it to the tree so it stays in the same area and they got to come to it. And then fill it up with all the goodies. We'll start off obviously with the dog food. There's the first ingredient. The next delicious ingredient is this. Oh God, if you can only smell that. Woo raspberry Kool-Aid. Pour that there. Pour two. This is messy, sticky, smelly molasses. A little bit so they can get at it. And then I like to swirl it all around so it lines the barrel and has to run down into it. And what happens is the dog food's just filler. A lot of times they won't even eat all the dog food. They'll just eat the dog food with the molasses on it and actually lick the barrel. And now, this is another messy part. I need a stick or something here. Scoop out a couple of chunks of this fudge. And the same thing. The more you put on the barrel, the more they gotta lick and work it off. If it's just on there in a big chunk, makes it too easy for them. Okay, now, this stuff's awesome. If only you could have TV that you could smell stuff on. So this is, it's a Tinks bear attractant. It smells like Krispy Kreme donuts or honey glazed donuts. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to spray down the whole area, and then I'm going to spray down over the tree where I set up the camera. Don't spray your camera or else they'll eat it. Lots of this. Don't be afraid to waste it. Okay, now, because there's so many raccoons and fishers and other critters in the woods, you want to set this up so that it's not going to be knocked over easily by a smaller animal. So you put a piece of plywood on it, cinder block, throw some lumber and stuff on there. I like to lean up a couple old stumps. There's a dirty one here. Now, this is simply to let you know that when you come in, you check your bait. If it's been hit, this will have been knocked over by a bear. If it's not knocked over, you know, a bear hasn't been to it, or maybe a small bear came. But basically that's set up so that raccoons and critters don't knock your bait over. And that's all there is to it. You set that. I'll come in once a week for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and see what's going on. And if you do get a bear, check your cameras, see the frequency of the bear's visits, and adjust your baiting accordingly. And ultimately, about a week before you decide to hunt, you should be baiting twice a week. Okay, so now the good thing about this camera is the bait's been hit. I could turn on the power. I don't have to take the SD card out. Hit the menu, scroll down to preview, hit the button, and we can actually preview the shots that are on here. Basically, put it bear height on the tree, so it's kind of level with the barrel, and set it for photo 24 hours. And then if we see a bear coming in on this, after we check it a couple times, I'll switch it to HD video, and then that'll give me 2-minute videos of actually the bears knocking the barrel over, see how much time they're spending here, all that good stuff. And what we'll do is we'll leave this on video to see what time these bears are coming in, how long they're staying. And now I know a good spot to place a stand too.
For over 30 years, Excalibur has led the way in crossbow performance. We've crossed the strongest rivers. We've battled the harshest conditions. We've climbed into countless tree stands. We've stalked endless miles. We asked ourselves, how do you make the world's best crossbow better? Make it a micro.
Mercury engine test.
Lightest 115 horsepower in its class. It's good to have Mercury behind you.
Think GPS is just for getting you to the lake? Think again. The new iPilot wireless GPS trolling system can hold your boat in place like an electronic anchor. Record and retrace productive fishing paths, automatically keep you on any bearing you choose, and take total command of speed and steering. iPilot controls your boat with wireless GPS precision so you can focus on fishing. And it's only from Minn Kota.
In the world of whitetail hunting, accuracy reigns supreme. It's what gets you in the right spot, at the right time, eye to eye with the one. It's also what gets the job done, downrange. Winchester Ballistic Silvertip, lethal precision.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television brought to you by Winchester Ammunition.
On the third day of the spring bear hunt in Thunder Bay, I decided to venture out to a bear bait by a beaver pond for the afternoon. The area was a little further from camp than the spot we'd been hunting, but the trail cams there were showing a really big bear. The Viking easily got me across this battered old dam, and we were overlooking the pond in no time. Okay, it's our third day. We've moved to a new setup because the wind's been so bad. We've got a great spot here that's got the wind in our favor. There's a beaver pond. The barrel's right there. And that bear is going to end up right there if he comes in. Right over here. He's coming in. I don't have my crossbow. We just got here. I'm going down. Here he comes. He's got me. Man. I gotta hope I get a chance to grab my bow. I can't move. And I can't get my crossbow. He's gonna leave. Look at this. I can't move an inch. I'm gonna stay as still as I can and hope I turn his head so I can get my bow. We just got set up. Attaboy, attaboy, come back. It's gonna be hard for me to get my crossbow. Oh, attaboy, come on in. Turn your head. Attaboy, attaboy, come back. The wind's perfect here. He's looking right at me. He knows we're here. That's the best. As soon as he opens that barrel, I'm grabbing my bow. It's not a huge bear, but he's decent. It's alone. It's not a giant bear. You know, that could be a sow, could be a boar. I'm gonna guess There's no sign of a cub, so that's a perfect example of why we bait bears. Oh, I got you. Spring bear hunt 2014. Let's see what the Matrix 405 can do. Oh, barrel roll, yes! He's down. Oh. I can't even explain the heart rate I have right now. He didn't go 15 yards. That thing hit him like a bolt of lightning. Wow! First spring bear in 15 years in Ontario, right there. Yes! Season's almost over. Look how hot it is out. I couldn't be happier. Mwah. Yes! I'm going down to find them. Let's have a look. Well, I'm not getting that broadhead back. A little bit of fur on there, some blood. You know, obviously I hit him good, but the broadhead's buried in the root of that spruce tree. Let's go. I'll drop this harness. I'm hot enough as it is. Now normally you gotta look for a blood trail and track your animal, but I'm telling you that 405 Mega, we saw where he laid, but I wanted to come and show you where he stopped for a second, all the blood that had come out of him. So that would be a great place to start if we had to track him. And then he just bulldozed through these alders here. So I could see him from the stand. He didn't go 15 yards from the barrel. Nice. Let's get a tag on him, and we'll get a better look at him out in the clearing. Never leave home without one of these. Wow, that guy got a good piece of me, that bug. He's legal. Let's get out of the bugs. Woo! This might be one of my most gratifying hunts ever. That's the first black bear for me in Ontario in the spring in 15 years. And I couldn't be more proud to be part of this. Hopefully it's the first of many. 15 years in the making, that spring bear.
Closed captioning of Angler and Hunter Television is brought to you by Ontario Out of Doors Magazine. Angler and Hunter Television has been brought to you by Canadian Tire, Mercury Marine and Lund Boats, Yamaha ATVs, Browning Firearms, Rapala, Winchester Ammunition, Wild Game Innovations, Excalibur Crossbows, and Yukon Gear. For more information on the products used in this episode of Angler and Hunter Television, visit ahtv.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Remember, conserve and protect our great outdoors.